nerds, and welcome back to Cinematic Sarcastic, a podcast that talks all things movies and television. I'm Natalie, and I'm your host. On today's episode, we are going to talk about the Willow television series that just dropped today, or more accurately, we are going to rant about the Willow television series that just dropped today. I have a serious question, just throwing it out into the universe. Is it Disney's intention to absolutely slaughter everything that was good from the 80s? Is like 80s, 90s, everything that was amazing back then that I just dream of having like a reboot or a television series that can capture the same level of magic? And Disney's like, nah, what we're going to do is we're going to murder all of your hopes and dreams, ruin all of your favorite things, and then you're just going to die sad. Like I feel like that is Disney's sole intention. I have heard some rumors through the grapevine that the old CEO of Disney has come back because there is an intention of selling Disney as a company off to somebody else like Apple or, another big contender. And God, I pray that they do. I seriously pray that they do, and that whoever acquires Disney understands that some of the intellectual property, like the actual things that they have acquired through the years, should just be either dealt with respect or not dealt with at all. I really, really loved the Willow film when I was a kid. I've actually done a podcast episode on the Willow movie, because when they started kind of announcing the television series, I started to get pretty hyped about it, and I was super excited to see where they would go with it. And in my Willow podcast episode, I did mention that a number of years ago, a long time ago, they released a series of fantasy novels continuing the story of Willow. And they were garbage. They were really awful. And it basically kind of ruined the story and made me wish that I had never, I still have them. They're still in my collection. But it made me wish that I had never picked them up in the first place, because it didn't have that magic, and it kind of just systematically ruined all of the things along the course of this novel. And that is what the TV series is doing. I think if you really loved, if Willow has a special place in your heart from back in the 80s, if you loved Madmartigan and Saoirse and Willow, do not watch the Willow television series. It's gonna get you right in the heart. It's gonna hurt you. I'm horrified by what they've done here. And I have sort of a personal little nitpick. I am a ginger. I am a redhead. I was born a redhead. I've always been a redhead. I went through the years of being made fun of for being Carrot Top and yada yada. And I'm seriously questioning now if there is something in Hollywood that has something against redheads. I'm seriously wondering about it, because it seems like they're taking all of the redheaded characters throughout movies and television series and swapping them out to be something else. And that is exactly what they did in Willow. Not only does Saoirse now sort of have less red hair than she did from the first film, which with her, I sort of understand, because I feel like they kind of made it look a little bit more grayish. So, she's older, that I get. But Elora freaking Danan, the little baby, was a freaking ginger, and she's a blonde. She's a blonde in the television series. And I don't understand. Why, I get it. She was a baby. Her hair color could have changed. But why would you not just have her grow up and be a ginger? What is there something wrong in Hollywood with being a ginger? I'm seriously asking, because it's starting to hurt my feelings a little bit that it seems like no one wants redheads in film or TV, unless it just doesn't make sense, the Scarlet Witch or something like that, where it kind of it's part of the character. But it's hurting my feelings. I'll just say that. It's hurting my feelings a little bit that Elora Danan is now some twitty little blonde, stupid, mind you, stupid character in this television series. So dumb. so dumb. Like, the princess that is meant to save all of the things, like, is in love with a dude that doesn't even know what her name is. Like, it's just, we don't have, that nobody understands our love. We have a love like no one, he doesn't even know what your name is. What are you talking about? Like, it's insulting. It's insulting. And the fact that they have made Willow, in my opinion, they have made Willow, which the television series is named after, mind you, and the whole entire movie is based around like his journey, his way of sort of becoming this sorcerer and having confidence in himself and knowing that the power of the magic that he seeks is within himself. That whole journey was the whole first film, right? He's a side character in the Willow TV series. You don't even see him until the very end of the first episode. He doesn't exist. They're introducing you to a whole bunch of characters that you do not give two craps about, because I guarantee you, like, this series is not meant. Here is the thing that I don't understand. Tom Cruise did a reboot for Top Gun, right? It's one of my all-time like best performing episodes. I did an episode about the reboot of Top Gun, and people flooded to go see that movie. And it outperformed even the first Top Gun because Tom Cruise understood what it was about the first film that people enjoyed so much, and he made a second film that captured that same concept, right? It wasn't identical, it wasn't the same, it definitely didn't have as much of that, awesome sort of feel, because you kind of can't. It's a sequel, it's been 30 years, it's impossible to make it as great, right? But he nailed making it as good as he possibly could for the audience that he knew he was targeting. And that was the people that loved that first film. Whoever it is that is the showrunner of Willow is in the same camp as the people that did like the Rings of Power. They have absolutely no clue what it was that people loved so much about the first film. And their target audience is not people that loved Willow growing up. Their target audience is, I am assuming, 16-year-olds. I cannot picture anyone else being their target audience for this television series. It's insulting to me. And I got scared because before I could get to the show, we'll say, because I knew I couldn't watch it until tonight, which I just finished watching the 2 episodes that have dropped. And earlier this morning, I started to read some people's reviews kind of on a post on Instagram, and people were saying like, "Oh my gosh, this is terrible." And I got a little scared. I was like, no, these people are they're grumpy. They're just, they don't know. Maybe they just didn't have the same feel, or you never know with people on Instagram, like maybe they didn't like the film, like you can never tell. And then 2 minutes into the Willow television series, the way that they introduced Mad Mardigan or talked about Mad Mardigan, I was like, okay, this is not looking up. Like this is actually starting to insult him essentially. And the way that I feel like the way that they tried to write Mad Mardigan out, because obviously Val Kilmer, him joining into a film is going to be rather difficult because he does have some speech impediments now with his cancer and whatnot. But my hope was that at the very least they would treat Mad Mardigan as a character with respect. If you have to, tell me a story about how he died in combat or died protecting Elora Danan or anything like that, I'm fine with that. They introduce him in this show as like arrogant, self-serving, yada, yada, like no good things, only bad things. They don't talk about how he kind of essentially, Mad Mardigan for me is essentially the same role as Han Solo from Star Wars. It's basically the same character, right? That he's sort of an arrogant ass. And then as he's going on, he sort of learns that being self-serving isn't necessarily the best, that helping out and joining in and all of that is what helps defeat this evil in this film. So he kind of has that same story arc as Han Solo from Star Wars. And then Saoirse, who, of course, they married in real life, so I'm sure she got a kick out of all of these lines at the beginning of the show, is talking about how, she chose him and married him for love, and, well, she was young. So clearly that was a mistake and a bad decision. What? I'm sorry, what? Do not take my greatest love story from Willow and turn it into an I made a bad mistake because I was young. Don't take that from me. Don't take that from me. Their love story in Willow is one of my all-time favorite love stories from a film. It's just so sweet and genuine and fun to watch them fall in love with each other, and knowing that even if it didn't last in real life, they fell in love with each other in real life on that movie set too, and married after that. And don't steal that from me. I need it. I will not be continuing, and this makes me so sad. It frustrates me to the core of my person, because I was really looking forward to Willow. I was really looking forward to sitting down for the winter and over the next month or so, however many episodes Willow had, watching the Willow TV series and kind of having some nostalgia back for a little bit, right? Because what better timing to have nostalgia and have good feelings than during the holidays and during Christmas time, and having that feeling back. And I just am so disappointed. I am so disappointed, and I am so sick and tired of watching Hollywood just try and change everything. And here's the thing. I wasn't even against them introducing new characters into Willow. I saw all of the new characters coming, and I knew that they were trying to make it, more diverse and bring in a new crowd, and obviously bring in some younger generation of people. I have no problem with that in any way, shape, or form. Just make it good. Make it good. And make those new people side characters, right? Make those new people that are helping Willow on his journey. The same way that you had those side characters from the first film helping Willow on his journey. That's how you learn to love them. That's how they become main characters, right? Look at a series like The Walking Dead, for instance. A lot of those side characters that were helping Rick on his journey became major players because people fell in love with them along the way, not because they were crammed down our throats as the new main players of a show. That's just not how this works. And it just irritates people. And then you get bad ratings, and you get people that don't want to watch your show. And for me, that's exactly what's happening. I've watched the 2 episodes. I have no intention of continuing to watch this series, and I am very sad to have to say that. So those are my thoughts on the new Willow television series. I would love to know your thoughts if you've seen the first 2 episodes. Please subscribe if you want to join the Movie Nerd family. You can find me on Instagram at Cinematic Sarcastic Podcast, and I hope to see you in the next episode.